Hello and welcome to the fifth lecture on GCOC, General Concepts in Organic Chemistry. And today, in this lecture, we'll be discussing about the third aspect of electronic displacement, the electronic effect, that is hyperconjugation effect, H effect. In the earlier videos, we had discussed vividly inductive effect, I effect, and resonance effect, R effect, also called mesomeric effect. In this program, we'll be discussing on H effect, hyperconjugation, which is very funnily called no bond resonance in valence bond theory. Let us start. Hyperconjugation is the interaction of electron in a sigma bond, usually CH sigma bond, with an adjacent conjugating p orbital system. Either it is a vacant p orbital or partially filled p orbital having one unpaired electron, a radical, or it is a full pi bond molecular orbital. So, hyperconjugation is the younger brother of resonance or conjugation. While a resonance is a p pi conjugation, hyperconjugation is a sigma p or sigma pi conjugation. It is less pronounced than resonance but more pronounced than I effect, since it involves pi system. Maybe one of the conjugating units is a sigma bond, but the other one is a pi. Hence, the delocalization extent is more than I effect, which is only through sigma bond, and less than a resonance effect, because resonance deals with both pi system. No sigma bond is involved in a resonance. The electron, have a look, let me bring my pen so that it will be better to show in a, yes. Electron delocalization by H effect, that means hyperconjugation effect, changes the bond length and other physical properties like resonance, though to a smaller extent. It is applicable mostly to study the relative stability of alkyl carbocations, alkyl free radicals, and alkenes. For your stage, for your level, only these three species, namely alkyl and alkyl free radicals and alkyl carbocations, and the neutral alkene molecules. They are relative stabilities, and the bond length, bond order, these properties are influenced by hyperconjugation like a resonance. Let us start. Now, for a molecule or for any species to show hyperconjugation, it should have a non-hybridized p orbital, a non-hybridized p orbital in sp2 hybridized carbon, but the p orbital is non-hybridized. It may be vacant, or it may carry one unpaired electron, or there is a p pi bond, pi bond. And besides a p system, either a vacant p orbital or a p orbital having one unpaired electron, or a pi bond as a whole. Besides that, it should have at least one alpha hydrogen atom. So that there is a CH bond adjacent to the p system. So at least one alpha hydrogen atom with respect to the p system. That hydrogen should be bonded to a a sp3 hybridized carbon, not sp2, sp3. So that the rotation about carbon-carbon single bond is rapid and allowed. The CH sigma bond, due to rotation, conformational changes comes nearly in the eclipsing conformation. Supposing, say, this is sigma bond. I am just showing, have a look. This is, say, methyl. This is the umbrella, methyl, right? Sorry. This is the methyl, CH, CH, CH. And here there is a CC bond. Supposing this carbon carries the p system, empty p orbital or p orbital carrying unpaired electron, or it is a pi bond, whatever. So this is the alpha position with respect to the p system, and at least there is one hydrogen. And this CC bond, because of the rapid rotation between this C and this C bond, the sigma bond comes at a near eclipsing conformation with the p orbital. It's not eclipsing, it is little tilted because the bond angle is 109.5 degree. So it's not trigonal planar, so that it will not come exactly parallel, but it will be nearly parallel and eclipsing. At that position, there is a possibility that this sigma orbital might overlap with this p orbital or p system, and as a result electron delocalization can be possible. So in the next moment when this will come, this will also overlap, sigma p overlap. When this will come, because this bond is rotating rapidly, so alternately all these CH, if at all there is CH, sigma bond comes at a near eclipsing position, near parallel position with the p orbital system, and they conjugate. And this conjugation is a hyperconjugation. Because that overlapping is not that profound as in resonance. Therefore, it is called hyperconjugation. Understood? So let me read out this. The CH sigma bond comes in a nearly eclipsed conformation during the carbon-carbon single bond rotation, and thus conjugates, delocalizes with the p orbital system. According to MOT, the two sigma electron pair, that CH bond, that two electrons constituting the sigma bond, occupy the extended BMO, extended bonding molecular orbital, formed by the LCAO, linear combination of atomic orbital of the CH sigma MO. CH is already in a sigma bonding MO, it was there, and the p orbital. So combination of these two orbitals, the sigma bonding molecular orbital and the p non-bonding p orbital, they combine and the extended MO will contain a bonding MO and the corresponding anti-bonding MO. So for conjugation with a pi bond, supposing the pi system is not a p orbital, independent p orbital, but it's a pi bond. In such a case, then the sigma BMO or molecular orbital will conjugate with sigma bond will combine with the anti-bonding pi star, because this plus plus minus minus, that is pi bonding MO, but plus minus minus plus is anti-bonding MO. So the combination between the sigma bond and the pi star will give rise to two extended MOs, that is BMO and ABMO, bonding MO and anti-bonding MO, and the two electrons of this sigma bond will occupy a lower energetic, more stable bonding MO, and the anti-bonding MO will remain vacant. Now have a look. See, this is the case of, let me bring my pen. Yes, this is a case of the p orbital is empty, and this is a sigma bond. coming, this bond is now nearly parallel in that particular conformation, and it can conjugate, it can overlap, and these two combine to form, now this one, these two, this is the 2p orbital here, and this is a sigma bonding MO, two electrons are there. So they combine so that you get extended BMO, extended ABMO, and the two electrons now occupy in a more stable or less energetic extended BMO, and the antibonding BMO, ABMO is vacant, so that it becomes more stable due to overlapping. This and this, they overlap, delocalize, not remain localized here, and alternately this bond comes to this parallel position, this bond also comes to the parallel position. So there is hyperconjugation. Similarly, if it will be a pi bond, whole pi bond will conjugate with a sigma bond, in that case pi star plus minus minus plus will combine with the sigma BMO to form the extended BMO. This is the sigma bond BMO, and this is the pi star of the pi system. They combine to form an extended BMO carrying the two electrons, and the ABMO will be vacant, right? Similarly, yes, same thing I have shown you. There are three possibilities. We will, for your stage, will not consider CC bond, sigma bond in hyperconjugation with a p system. There is a possibility, but those cases will not be discussed in this program. Only CH sigma bond conjugating with a p system, either a MTP orbital or a p orbital carrying an unpaired electron, the similar way, because this is electron deficient, so there can be overlapping and delocalization, and a sigma bond conjugating with a pi system, the pi bond, that is pi, we say pi bond, but actually it conjugates with pi star antibonding BMO, and these are the three possibilities of hyperconjugation that we will be interested in at our stage. Now coming to the next C, hyperconjugation structures. Just like we were drawing resonance structures, because the drawing of structures, contributing structures, is important for you, for students like you. In valence bond program, students are asked to draw the possible contributing structures. So in the same manner you were drawing resonance structures, you will be using curved arrow marks to draw hyperconjugation structures, sigma, p, sigma, pi conjugation. And more the number of such hyperconjugation structures, more is the stability of the species. Let me read out. Like resonance structures, we can draw HC. What is HC? Is it Hycote? No. It is hyperconjugation structures to explain the delocalization in the concept of VBT. So resonance structure writing is analogous to Lewis structures. So it is a part of extended VBT. But the delocalization in the concept of MOT that I explained, there will be linear combination of two bonding systems to give you an extended BMO and ABMO. But we should be very happy to draw the HC structures. Except the original structure, all other hyperconjugation structures have one no bond structure, because CH bond will be broken with a 1 electron shift or 2 electron shift, so that there will be no bond between carbon and hydrogen, but it will be a contributing structure carrying a no bond between carbon and hydrogen. Therefore, this particular hyperconjugation is sometimes called no bond resonance. No bond resonance. The number of hyperconjugation structures is equal to the number of alpha hydrogen atoms with respect to p system. plus 1, because plus 1 because it is the original structure with all bonds, and these are the no bond structures. So altogether there will be number of alpha hydrogen atoms plus 1 hyperconjugation structures. So by counting the total number of alpha hydrogen atoms, I repeat, by counting the total number of alpha hydrogen atoms, we can write the number of Hc structures. We may not even draw. Drawing is monotonous, but just count the number of alpha hydrogen atoms and say that such a species will have this many number of hyperconjugation structures. If there is no alpha hydrogen atom, then there is no hyperconjugation. More the number of hyperconjugation structures, more is the stability of the species. And there is isotope effect. CH bond is weakest, therefore this CH bond breaking is more probable than CD than CT, because the bond energy is minimum for CH. So if there is other isotope for hydrogen, maybe deuterium or tritium, then in that case the contribution of the no bond structures will be lessened as deuterium replaces hydrogen or tritium replaces hydrogen. Coming to relative stability of carbocations, let us apply our knowledge of hyperconjugation, sigma pi or sigma p or sigma pi conjugation, to study the relative stability of alkyl carbocations. This is a case of sigma p, because this is a vacant p orbital. This is vacant. Sigma p conjugation. So let us draw. This is, by breaking the CH bond, we can draw another contributing structure where this HA, supposing we designate as HA, HB, HC. To draw one for HA, the other for HB, and the third for HC. So now HA comes with no bond, and there is a double bond here, and the plus charge will be neutralized at the carbon atom, and hydrogen will carry plus charge. Similarly, we can use HB for hyperconjugation. Similarly, HA remaining intact, the HB, I have not shown those arrow marks, it is understood. If CHB bond breaks, similar HB plus, and that comes with no bond with carbon, and others remain intact. Similarly, HC can come with no bond with carbon, and HC will be carrying plus, and we have another. So we had 3 alpha hydrogen atoms, so 3 no bond structures and 1 original structures. So the total number of HC structures is equal to 4, 3 plus 1, 4. And we can draw the hybrid structure where this bond will be partially double bond. It's not a full double bond. It is a partial double. It's not a full single bond. It is a partial double bond character. And the CH bond has been weakened. Weakened. Not weakened. Weakened. It has become weaker because of the contribution of these no bond contributors or hyperconjugation structures. So this is the status. But I suggest, do not write the hybrid structure for hyperconjugation. Just write down, if required, the hyperconjugation structures by making no bond one at a time to all the alpha hydrogen atoms. Now, since in tertiary carbocation, say we take third butyl carbocation. Now count. You just count how many alpha hydrogen. This is alpha. This is also alpha with respect to the p system. This is also alpha with respect to p system. 3 plus 3 plus 3. 9 plus 1. So there will be 3 plus 3 plus 3. 9 plus 1. This is 10. I am so sorry. 10 SC structures. And this is 3 plus 3. This is secondary carbocation, isopropyl carbocation. 3 plus 3. There are 6 alpha hydrogen atom plus the original one, 7 HC. And this is ethyl. We have already drawn in the case of ethyl. There will be 4 SC. 3 plus 1, 4. And methyl, there is no alpha carbons, hence no alpha hydrogen atom, so no HC. There is no hyperconjugation effect in methyl carbocation because there is no alpha carbon and hence no alpha hydrogen. So more the number of alpha hydrogen atoms, more is the number of hyperconjugation structures, and hence more is the delocalization, and hence more is the stability. Therefore, 3-degree carbocation is much more stable. It is predominantly explained by hyperconjugation, not by plus I effect. Earlier, we explained this by using only plus I effect. The positive charge is delocalized by maximum plus I effect in tertiary alkyl group. But now we say the tertiary alkyl group is very stable, not because of plus I effect alone, but predominantly due to hyperconjugation. We have 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10 hyperconjugation structures. So the electron delocalization and delocalization of positive charge is maximum in a 3-degree carbocation, then 2 degree, then 1 degree, any other 1 degree, then methyl. Remember, in now onwards, if anybody asks why a 3-degree alkyl carbocation is so stable, what will be your answer? Your answer should be more hyperconjugation structures due to H effect, not due to plus I effect. Yes, you can tell plus I effect maybe as an additional supplement, but never ever forget that it is stabilized by hyperconjugation effect, H effect. Okay. Now coming to tertiary butyl versus benzyl. Now this is the opportune time to tell you that tert-butyl carbocation is even more stable than benzyl. Benzyl and allyl carbocations are stabilized by only the resonance effect, R effect. But this is stabilized both by hyperconjugation effect and I effect. And the number of hyperconjugation structures is 10. And here no doubt it is resonance pi, but the number is 4. This is 9 and moreover supplemented by plus I effect. Therefore, tert-butyl carbocation stability is much more than the benzyl carbocation, and which you know is more stable than allyl. That is known to you because it has 4 RSS and this has 2 RSS, nearly equivalent RSS in this case. Now in many books, many literature, you might find that benzyl is more stable than tert-butyl, and to this author it is not acceptable. Tert-butyl carbocation is convincingly more stable than benzyl because it has been also supported by other experimental evidences like hydride ion affinity. HIA, which is maximum for tert-butyl. The data supports this trend. Now coming to free radicals. In the same manner as we explained the alkyl carbocations, the alkyl free radicals also are stabilized by hyperconjugation effect. Let us take as an example ethyl free radical, where there are, this is the p orbital, this is the p orbital carrying an unpaired electron. This unpaired electron is there. We'll conjugate with a sigma bond alternately. All these 3 sigma bonds will alternately conjugate, and we draw 3 more no bond resonance structures. First HA, for example, so that 1 electron, this is a 1 electron shape. This has been wrongly drawn. It is a fish hook arrow. I am so sorry. This is a fish hook arrow, so that this dot comes here, forms a double bond, and 1 hydrogen atom remains with a no bond. Similarly, HC independently goes with no bond with this carbon, and there is a double bond, and thus it is stabilized by 4 RSS, not RSS, SC structures. I am so sorry, SC structures. This is not called resonance structures. Some authors, they sometimes write resonance structures, but no, a resonance is the elder brother, hyperconjugation structures. younger brother. So let us write hyperconjugation structures. Similarly, if we compare between 3 degree, 2 degree, any other 1 degree like ethyl, propyl or and methyl, this is also 1 degree, you will find in tert butyl 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10, just like tert butyl carbocation. This is 7, 3 plus 3 plus 1, this is 3 plus 1, 4 that we have already drawn, and here none. That is why 3 degree is most stable free radical and methyl free radical is the least stable. And interestingly, this is also supported, just like this stability order is supported by hydride ion affinity values, hydride ion affinity energy. Similarly, the radical stability is also corroborated by the CH bond energy, bond dissociation energy. Have a look. I have given you interesting data from Wikipedia. Thanks to Wikipedia for a huge data source. The philanthropic activity extended by Wikipedia globally is really praiseworthy. Now, look to methane, the CH bond dissociation energy, the homolytic cleavage that requires 104. But if there is ethane, the CH bond requires little less. Why? Because the consequent, after breaking CH bond homolytically, the radical that is produced, ethyl radical, is stabilized by 4 RSS. Similarly, this is isobutane, and this CH, this is secondary CH. This still needs little lesser energy. Why? By breaking this bond, this isopropyl free radical, he is more stable by 7 hyperconjugation structures. This is a neopentane, that is a tertiary carbon atom. And by breaking this CH still needs lesser energy. Why? Because the consequent tert butyl free radical after the CH bond homolysis is more stable due to 10 hyperconjugation structures. So this is also supported by the bond dissociation energy of different types of CH bonds. CH bond in methane, CH bond in any other 1 degree like ethane, propane and others, CH bond that is a 2 degree carbon atom CH bond connected with a 2 degree carbon, and CH bond connected to a 3 degree carbon. So their bond dissociation energies are different, less and less. As the degree, 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, the bond dissociation energy of the CH bond becomes less and less because the produced free radicals, carbon free radicals, are more and more stable. Now, at the end, let us talk about the most important application of hyperconjugation, that is stability of alkenes, and how the bond length data, they are changed due to hyperconjugation, just like a resonance. How's it going? Going well? Now let us look to the hyperconjugation structures of propene. The earlier cases were unstable intermediates, carbocations and carbon free radicals. Now we are taking a stable neutral molecule, alkenes. We are taking propene, where this is the pi system with which the sigma bond will conjugate, sigma pi conjugation. And from MOT that sigma BMO will conjugate with pi star antibonding MO, and because of their combination they will produce extended BMOs and ABMO, BMO and ABMO, where the 2 sigma electrons will stay. Now what about these 2 electrons? I think I forgot to tell you that you had also this system, since it is vacant, there is no 2 electrons. The 2 electrons are in the BMO of the pi. It is not taking part in the combination. It is the pi star, which is empty, is taking part in combination with this sigma bonding, so there will be only 2 electrons in the entire setup to remain in the extended MO and BMO, and the ABMO is vacant. Now coming to the number of hyperconjugation structures depends on the number of alpha hydrogen atoms. See, in propene there are 3 alpha hydrogen atoms. So you can break down this bond, CH bond, and polarize this pi bond to produce a minus charge here, and hydrogen will be carrying plus charge and no bond, and alternately HB will go for no bond and HC will go for no bond. You have 4 hyperconjugation structures in propene. Now and more is the degree of substitution at the double bond. Here it is tetra substituted. The number of alpha hydrogen atom, let me use my pen, my favorite pen is this one. The number of alpha hydrogen atom is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 12 plus 1, 13 hyperconjugation structures. You need not have to draw. In your examination, if you are asked a question, you just write the number of HC structures, not draw all the 12, all the 13. I have shown in one. Even for propene, you write there are 4 HC structures. 3 alpha hydrogen atom plus 1. Similarly, this is tri-substituted 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10. And here this is 3 plus 3, 6 plus 1, 7. And in propene, we had seen that drawn the structures. This is 4. And in ethene, there is no alpha hydrogen. So hyperconjugation is absent here in ethene. Now this is the basis of the Sadjev rule or the Zaitsev rule that is followed in elimination reactions to produce alkene. When an alkene is formed, when a double bond is formed, the more stable one is a more substituted alkene. So that becomes the major product. You will study while you treat alcoholic KOH with butane, 2-chlorobutane, or it is sec-butyl chloride. Then you get 2 products. But-2-ene, both cis and trans. Trans is a measure. But-2-ene and but-1-ene. 2-ene, the double bond is formed in the internal position, so there will be 2 substituents at the double bond. One on this side, the other on the other side. So it is more stable due to more number of hyperconjugation structures. And the other minor product will be but-1-ene. So where there is no alpha hydrogen on one side and there will be only 2 alpha hydrogen atom on the other side. So it is less stable. So that is called the Sadjev rule that decides, that tells you, the student, which one will be the major product during elimination reaction. So that Sadjev rule is based on this concept, hyperconjugation concept. Now interestingly, more degree of substitution at the C double bond C, more is the number of alpha hydrogen atoms. We have already discussed that. And hence more is the number of SC structures. Hence more substituted alkene is thermodynamically more stable and has a lesser numerical value of heat of hydrogenation. I told you, any species which is more stable than the other species, that more stable species will produce a lower numerical value of heat of hydrogenation than a less stable species. So this is more stable species and this is the product, so the difference is small, and a less stable species, the product is same, so the difference is more. More the hyperconjugation, greater is the C double bond C bond length, because the single bond character will be introduced to a greater extent. If the sigma will conjugate with pi, the pi bond will be polarized and ultimately the double bond character will be reduced, so the bond length will be increased. And the CC, if there is a alpha carbon and there is a hyperconjugation, there is alpha carbon, then CC single bond length will be smaller because it will acquire, this will acquire, this C bond will acquire, when you draw the hybrid structure, which is usually not written, it's usually not written. So this will be partial single bond. We are not interested in CH bond. Now ABC, and this is a partial double bond. This is also a partial double bond. So the double bond character is reduced here, and the single bond, double bond character is introduced here, because if you do not consider any hyperconjugation, you will think as if the CC single bond is 1.54 like in ethane, but no, the bond length is less, convincingly less, because of partial double bond character. Now you will see in ethene the double bond is 1.33, but here in propene, butene, when there is hyperconjugation, you will find the double bond length is little longer. It is not 1.33, it may be 1.39, because it is lengthened because of the reduction in the bond order as the pi bond gets polarized. That thing I have spelled out here. C double bond, C length is maximum in tetra substituted ethene. So since the number of hyperconjugation structures is maximum here, the polarization takes place 12 times. So the single bond character is more, so the bond length, C double bond, C length is maximum in tetra substituted ethene and minimum in ethene. Ethene, there is no hyperconjugation. So it is 1.33. But in this case, it might be 1.5 or 1.4. I'm sorry, 1.4. And supposing this is 1.33, tentatively I am saying this double bond is 1.36. This is 1.39. This is 1.4. This may be 1.44. I'm just giving you the tentative value. And conversely, the CC is acquiring partial double bond character, is minimum in the former. In this case, because of the larger contributors, where the CC gets the double bond character, this CC bond length is definitely shorter than 1.54, but minimum in case of this tetra substituted alkene. I am giving you one value. If it is ethene, it is 1.33, but in propene the double bond length is little elongated, it is 1.344, and CC bond in ethane or propane is 1.54, but in propene this bond is little shorted, 1.50. This is 54, this is 50. You got it? 50. This shortening of this single bond is due to the acquisition of partial double bond character due to hyperconjugation. Now, not only the bond lengths get changed due to hyperconjugation, but also the polarity of many alkenes and similar types of compounds get changed due to hyperconjugation. I will tell you a concrete value after a bit. Now see, heat of hydrogenation. Let me also give you supporting evidences for the stabilities of these alkenes, substituted alkenes, with their heat of hydrogenation value. These are all negative, but I am giving you the numerical values, which is minimum for tetra substituted, because it is most stable, 111 kilojoules per mole. Then this is tri substituted, 113. This is di-substituted, 115, but there are three types of di-substituted alkene. This is trans-butene, because the groups are away from each other. They are remaining anti or trans. The steric hindrance is less, and therefore this is relatively more stable. And then comes isobutylene, where the two are hydrogen here and the methyl groups are on the same side, 120 degree. So relatively its interaction stability is more than where cis-butene, where methyl groups are on the same side, they are almost eclipsed. They are eclipsed, but exactly not parallel with each other, but they are on the same side. They will have some steric hindrance to make it little less stable, for which it is producing 1 kilojoule energy more than isobutylene. So between the three disubstituted alkene, trans-butene has the minimum heat of hydrogenation, then isobutylene, then cis-butene, then monosubstituted, that is propene 126, finally ethylene, which is not supported or stabilized by hyperconjugation, has the maximum heat of hydrogenation 137. Can you imagine? Same one double bond needs 137 kilojoules for saturation, but the same one double bond in this tetrasubstituted alkene is needing 111, convincingly less, about 16 kilojoules less per double bond. And bond length, as I've already told you, the C double bond, C bond length is maximum in this case. And in the same molecule, C single bond C, not so. This C single bond C is minimum. Because of the partial double bond character in the single bond, it is minimum in this. More number of hyperconjugation, and double bond is maximum because more single bond character is acquired because of maximum number of polarizations. So we are almost at the end. Hyperconjugation can also be found in other systems, where there is a pi bond like carbon-carbon triple bond, or carbon-nitrogen triple bond, or nitrogen-oxygen triple bond. There must be a pi system and a sigma bond, at least one alpha hydrogen atom. So you will be, the polarity of these compounds is much greater than expected of the absence of hyperconjugation. Because of the this polarization due to hyperconjugation, the polarity of these is greatly, and moreover the CC bond length, which is 1.54 in propane, it is reduced to 1.46 angstrom. This is angstrom because of 4 resonance structures and 3 no bond resonance structures, right? And there is another phenomenon called reverse hyperconjugation. Sometimes we can call it minus H effect, but plus minus H they are not used. They are seldom used. Only hyperconjugation where CH bond is used. When an electronegative atom like chlorine is used, it is called reverse hyperconjugation. That means a negative ion will be formed. The sigma bond will be broken towards the heteroatom. Now there in CH bond, the CH bond was breaking away from hydrogen. But in this case, CH bond will be broken towards chlorine. Now if CCl bond, CCl sigma bond is involved in hyperconjugation, instead of CH sigma bond, it is called reverse hyperconjugation. CC bond length is slightly less. This CC bond length is slightly less than, supposing you are taking allyl chloride, because this sigma bond and this pi bond, they are conjugating. This is hyperconjugation, and that to reverse hyperconjugation, this is breaking heterolytically to give another contributing structure, Cl minus, no bond here, and there is a double bond here and plus charge here. Even if the contribution is small, because of that there is a partial double bond character here. The CC bond length is less because of the partial double bond character, and C double bond C bond length is little greater than ethene because of this hyperconjugation structure, reverse hyperconjugation. Similarly, in benzo trichloride, CCl3, this is called benzo trichloride, you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4 hyperconjugation structures for one chlorine. Similarly, other chlorine can have another 4. The other chlorine can have another 4. So so this 2 electron shift will produce a plus charge here and a no bond with the chloride ion here. Similarly, a plus charge can migrate over here, this para position, this ortho position, so that you can plus delta, plus delta, plus delta lying on the 2 ortho and 1 para, and this will be minus delta, right? And this is for one chlorine. Similarly, the other CCl will alternately can be broken for writing more number of hyperconjugation structures. Therefore, CCl3 group deactivates the ring at the orthopara positions. Only at the orthopara positions. We shall know later the CCl3 group in electrophilic substitution is a meta-director. We will talk about that later, because it deactivates the ring or reduces the electron density at the ortho-para position selectively. Deactivation to the ring occurs at the ortho-para positions. So this is a meta-director, as we shall see later, because it deactivates the electron density from the ortho-para position. So electrophile preferably attacks to the more electron rich meta position, because these are electron deficient positions, right? Now if you compare between it will be very interesting to note that supposing you have chloroform whose dipole moment is nearly 1 dBi, but same 3 chlorine in 1,1,1 trichloroethane, the mu is 1.8 dBi. Can you imagine? Because there will be no bond resonance. That is a reverse hyperconjugation of with this chlorine, this chlorine, this chlorine, involving this hydrogen, this CCS, this. So many possible contributors to make the polarization so high that only 3 chlorine atoms are there in this compound too, but the dipole moment has increased considerably. So thus we come to the end of this program, where we discussed vividly what is hyperconjugation effect, H effect, and how it influences the bond length in alkenes and related compounds when there is a reverse hyperconjugation too, and also how it stabilizes a carbocation, alkyl carbocation, and alkyl free radicals. How did you like it? In the next video, we shall talk about the electromeric effect, which is very, very small, and then we shall make a revision of acid strength, base strength, putting all our concepts of all the electronic effects into account. Bye-bye. Take care. And I'm sure you are subscribing to my channel if you are really following it. And in fact, all my efforts at this fag end of my teaching career is only to disseminate my experience to the progeny, to the upcoming generation, because I will be losing all this experience that I'm having with age. Bye.